Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So if you are new here, hello, my name is Brodie. So in today's video I thought I would start my labour vlog. So if you would like to find out more about my birth, please keep on watching. So, as I've just briefly mentioned, this is going to be the start of like a labour vlog. So I'm hoping, seeing as I'm quite far on in my pregnancy now, the birth is going to be happening soon and I will go into labour, but we don't actually know when that is going to happen. So we are currently on the countdown for him arriving. So I wanted to start this video today because I kind of wanted to keep you updated as it goes on, like kind of create like a little story, if that makes sense. So this is going to be kind of like a vlog, but I just don't know how well it's going to turn out because depending on how much pain I'm in, I don't know what I'm going to be able to get on camera. So throughout this video, I'm probably going to be looking a whole different range of states. Like I look quite alright at the moment because I've actually just done a photo shoot this morning. But after this, I might look like a complete mess. So who knows how I'll look. So just please excuse that. So as we speak, I'm 39 weeks and 6 days and I'm kind of hoping that this pregnancy is going to be coming to an end soon. Because me and Neil are more than excited for this little boy to arrive. So tomorrow I actually have a sweep. I'm booked in with the midwife at my 40-week appointment. She has said she's going to be doing my usual like measurement. She's going to be checking me over. She's going to do my urine sample, like check for proteins and stuff. She's going to be doing my bloods, and then hopefully, all going well, depending on how my cervix is, she's going to be able to do me a sweep. So yeah, I'm quite nervous for that, but I'm also very, very excited just because I think, well, maybe something's going to happen after this. Now, I know not all sweeps go to plan and not all sweeps work, but fingers crossed this one does for us, because like I said, we are more than ready for him to arrive now. So the plan is just to fill you in as the events take place. I'll just be doing little snippets here and there just of how things are happening and progressing really, and hopefully by the end of this video I will have had our little boy. So yeah, it'll be nice to actually introduce you to our little one, especially if you've been somebody who's followed our journey right from the beginning, because this has been a long 9 months, let me tell you. So tomorrow I will be back, probably not looking like this, but I'll be back to fill you in on how my sweep has gone, how my midwife appointment is, and yeah, just to give you a bit more information. So see you tomorrow. So this is just a quick check-in. I have been to my midwife appointment today. I'm officially 40 weeks, so it's my due date. No sign of him as of yet, and to be honest, I'm losing all hope. I feel like I'm just gonna be living the rest of my life pregnant, to be honest. Just to kind of fill you in on what's happened at my midwife appointment. It was a different midwife, which one really annoyed me anyway, because obviously I know I'm not going to get the same like healthcare provider every time, but you kind of build like some sort of relationship with your midwife because you're seeing her all the time, and obviously I've been going every 2 weeks for my blood, stuff like that. So yeah, I was a bit disappointed that she weren't there. I had this other lady anyway, she was really nice, and she went to do the sweep, and unfortunately my cervix is too high. So she says at the moment, like, there is no way of reaching it and she couldn't do the sweep. So as it stands right now, she's booked me in for a sweep again on the 1st of September. So we'll see what happens there. I'm not feeling very positive, if I'm honest, because this one hasn't worked and I can't see it being much better on the 1st, but we shall see. As of yet, I'm having no symptoms after it, no bleeding. She did say it is quite normal to have a little bit of bleeding afterwards, or like mucus, like stuff like that. She says that's perfectly normal, but anything like bright red and that, obviously I should ring triage. So one thing she did mention is when she was trying to do the sweep is that she could feel the tip of my cervix. She couldn't get far enough in to pull it down far enough to do the actual sweep. It's just a bit disappointing because you want things to happen already. But yeah, so that's how I'm feeling as of yet. I only had it done an hour or two ago, so I'm not obviously expecting anything anyway, especially with her not being able to do anything, but I would love it if maybe it's kind of disturbed something and something's gonna happen, but we'll just have to wait and see. I will keep you updated and I'll check back in with you when something changes. So this is just a quick check-in for you. Now, excuse the way I look, I have just been in the shower. But yeah, so I've actually been to my midwife today. I am 40 weeks and 2 days, so I'm 2 days technically overdue. So I went to see my usual midwife, mainly because obviously I wanted to speak about the sweep that I had the other day, or the failed sweep, and also the midwife who I actually saw the other day, which wasn't my usual one. she forgot to do my bloods, and I'm on 2 weekly bloods, so that's something I needed doing at my last appointment. Now, I was speaking to Sue, she's my usual midwife, and as she was doing my bloods, I was speaking to her about an early induction. Induction's not really something I've ever thought about having to have done, because I genuinely thought that Oscar might have made an appearance by now, but yeah, he hasn't. So I have my sweep next week. Sue's going to be doing that on the 1st of September. Hopefully something will be able to happen this time. Like, I'm hoping my cervix might have come down a little bit, and I'm just trying to stay positive. So hopefully when I go for this sweep on the 1st, maybe that might set something off rather than having to be induced. So my induction is actually going to be taking place on the 6th of September. Now I'm actually overdue. I spoke to Sue about natural ways to like induce labour and soften up my cervix, ready for the sweep next week, seeing as my last one failed. She said it was perfectly fine to have a go at doing a few natural remedies. She says I could look online and just see different ways that have helped other women. She says there's no harm in trying now, because obviously I'm past my due date, Oscar is fully developed pretty much, and we're just waiting for him to arrive, so she said there's no harm in trying. But obviously I'll be keeping you updated if any of these things actually work. So I've got myself a birthing ball, or an exercise ball, just to bounce around on and try and help him like fully engage down into my pelvis. I'm also trying out some raspberry leaf tea. So for the past few days I've also been taking evening primrose oil tablets. And then another thing is clary sage oil. I've just been using that in the bath, and I've tried it for the first time today, so we'll see how that works. But I've also used the Lush bath bombs, which is the sex bath bombs. Sex bomb? I don't know. It's this certain bath bomb. I'll try and insert a picture on here. I've also used that a few times, but that's not actually done anything. So yeah, I'll just keep you updated on these different ways, and obviously as things progress you will be able to see whether they've actually worked and whether they've actually helped me. And yeah, I will check in with you as soon as anything changes, so hopefully things might get started soon. Good evening everyone. So I just thought I would pop on here to give you a bit of an update as to what's happening. So I can't remember if I updated you last week, but I had a sweep, or I went for an attempted sweep and it didn't work. Now as we're speaking today, I'm actually 41 weeks, so today is the 2nd of September, and I've actually been for my 2nd attempt at a sweep. Now thankfully Sue, my usual midwife, has managed to do a sweep for me today, so I'm really happy about that. She told me my cervix was still posterior, so that means it's towards the back, but she did say that could come down quite easily if I go into labour and stuff, so she said not to worry about that. She said my cervix length has actually shortened, so it's now only around 1 centimetre long, and she also said that it's dilated to around 2 centimetres. So yeah, that's progress, which I'm really happy about. So she has said to me to basically expect maybe some light bleeding, cramping, nothing major. She just says if it is going to work, it's going to work over the next 24 to 48 hours. So I kind of just thought I would check in with you, let you know I've had the sweep done and where I'm at this stage, and yeah, fingers crossed something happens. So this is just a super quick check-in, but I'm actually 41 weeks plus 2 now, so yeah, I'm overdue by 9 days. As you've already seen, I have had a sweep done 2 days ago, and yeah, it's actually kind of triggered something. So since about 6 o'clock this morning, I've actually been losing my mucus plug. I'm unsure as to whether it's a bloody show as well, I don't know. It's just like brown, stringy discharge, and I'm sorry if that's a bit TMI, but yeah, that's what's been happening today. Now that's happened throughout the whole day, so I thought, you know what, clearly something's working, so I'm gonna get walking. So I've been out on a few walks today, and I've tried to stay up on my feet as much as I can. I've also been on the birthing ball, and yeah, I'm just hoping something wants to happen, so yeah, we will see. So it's the 4th of September, just sort of check in and tell you that I'd started losing my plug, and yeah, I will check in with you soon, hopefully with another update. So if you've been watching this whole video, you'll have seen that I went to get induced yesterday, which was at 41 plus 4 days. Immediately once I arrived, I had my blood pressure checked, I had my heart rate done, and what else did I have? Oh, urine test. Then I was admitted to like a day ward. So on the day ward, a midwife come and looked at me. She did like an internal like cervix check to see where I was at, and this was around 3 o'clock. She said I was 1 centimetre dilated, and she said that my cervix was still posterior, but it were favourable. It were quite soft and stretchy, so that's quite good. So the midwife actually advised me that she wanted me to have a balloon put in, which is, I think it's called a Foley balloon. You basically put it inside, blow it up, and hopefully that'll help you dilate so they can pop my waters. So I waited till around 6:30. A doctor came. She did an internal. She checked where I was at with my cervix. She then tried to insert a balloon. The annoying thing was, she put one of the things inside me, a speculum, to open me up. The midwife forgot to get the balloon ready. Then she had to take the speculum back out. Then she tried to fit the balloon. She said my cervix was too open, too short. Ow. Sorry, I am having slight contractions as we speak. So she said my cervix was too open, too short for the balloon to fit, and she also said there was no point in having a pessary put in because they'd be able to break my waters on delivery suite. So I said, right, I'll stay in as an inpatient. As soon as there's a place for my waters to be broke, I will go across, have my waters broke, and just start the labour process. So at this point I was all on my own as well. Neil weren't actually allowed to be with me until I go over to the delivery suite. Got moved on to the ward, was waiting around. Around 10 o'clock came, and one of the midwives on the night shift wanted me to go home. And I said, well, I don't really want to go home, so I'm trying to wait for a space on the delivery suite. And she said, well, we'd probably advise you to go home and wait, basically, and we'll call you back. So I was like, right, okay, I'll go home then. A little bit later passed, and they were going through delivery plans for people, and the midwife who wanted me to go home then said I couldn't go home because the doctors want to put a pessary inside. So I tried explaining I'd already had an internal. The doctor had said to me she'd tried to put a balloon in, she didn't want me to have a pessary. She also did me a sweep as well, which was very, very rough, let me tell you. So I was then waiting all night on the ward. I didn't get changed, didn't get any from my pyjamas, didn't do anything, couldn't get a shower or anything because I expected to be going home. So I ended up waiting till around 6 o'clock this morning. Didn't sleep hardly at all. Just because of other people on the ward. So I must have dropped off, and I got woke up about 8 o'clock by one of the midwives. Now she come in and said, right, I'm just going to do you a cervix check, I need to see where you're at, just because obviously we're going to be wanting to break your water soon if that's possible. So she did me a cervix check, and she says, no, like, you're still quite closed, and to be able to break your waters easily, we'd like you to be at least 2 to 3 centimetres at least. So yeah, that was a bit frustrating, so I was like, right, okay, so now what happens? So she wanted me to have a balloon put in, so I again explained the story from yesterday. Now this midwife was lovely. She asked before she did everything, and she was so gentle, I can't fault her at all. This midwife called Rebecca, and I think she was called Georgina, they came in and they did me an internal and fitted the balloon, and you know what, she was so gentle, like I wasn't in pain having the balloon fitted whatsoever. Like, don't get me wrong, it was uncomfortable, like it weren't pleasant, but it wasn't bad whatsoever, like it was manageable. So I've had the balloon put in anyway, and she said, we're going to let you go home, come back in 24 hours unless you have any bleeding, your waters break or the balloon falls out, and we'll see you in 24 hours. So I says, right, okay. So since then I've been at home contracting all day. It has been quite painful. I've only had paracetamol sent home with me, and obviously I've got this balloon in, so I've been very wary of everything I've been doing because it is quite uncomfortable. But yeah, so that's where I'm at. So I'm going back in the morning. Obviously nothing's came out at the moment, and I've had the balloon in since 9:30 this morning. So yeah, I'm actually quite excited to get this out, because hopefully once it's out I'll be able to have my waters broken, and then the induction will properly start because I will be in full-blown labour. So yeah, that's where I'm at the moment, and I will try and check in with you as and when. Oh yeah, also I just want to mention I lost my bloody show this morning around 6 o'clock. So that was interesting to say the least. So I am 41 plus 6 today, so I'm actually 42 weeks tomorrow. Basically I've been to the hospital this morning because that's what I had to do to have the balloon removed, because you're only allowed it in 24 hours. So I went at 9:30 this morning and had the balloon taken out. Now I did notice a little bit of blood had gone into the tubes of the balloon, but they said that were perfectly normal. So basically what happens now is they did some monitoring on him, make sure his heartbeat and everything was okay. I've obviously been checked over and stuff. They did me another cervix check, so they did like an internal to see how dilated I were after the balloon. And I'm now 2 or 3 centimetres, so they're definitely going to be able to break my waters. Now my cervix is still posterior, so it is going to be a little bit harder to break my waters because it's towards the back, but they did say once it's done, like, you're in labour and everything's starting basically. So yeah, that's where I'm at the moment, and they basically sent me home because obviously with COVID and everything, I think they're trying to get people out of the hospital if they don't need to be in. I'm just waiting for delivery suite to call me now, so we could get a call like literally at any point and just get told to go in to get my waters broken. So yeah, it's just a waiting game, and it's definitely been a slow process, but they did tell me to expect that with being induced, and yes, that's currently where we're at. So I've had my little boy now, and I'm just in the hospital resting up, and I'm absolutely knackered. Now there will be a full labour story going up on my channel soon, so I will explain everything there. But yeah, I just thought I would introduce to you our little boy.